Hello my dear learners, welcome to the channel. My name is Namita and today's video is for those learners who can write in English, who can read English well, who can basically understand English. But when it comes to speaking in English, they find it very hard. They feel that they are not being able to express themselves appropriately the way they can do the same thing in their mother tongue. So if you feel stuck, if your mind goes blank while speaking in English, if you always get nervous, then this video is going to talk about translation, because translation is that one major reason behind you not being fluent. You are thinking of all the things in your head in your mother tongue, and then you're trying to speak the same thoughts in English. So the whole translation thing which is happening from your mind till your tongue is keeping you away from being fluent, and that's a big reason. I hope you will agree to this one, that translation is a big problem. And it is, I think, there with all the people who are learning English as second language. Native speakers think in the same language, they are always spontaneous, but for us, we have to translate. And when we are spending time in translating, thinking in mother tongue and speaking in English, then there are a lot of pauses. And after 2-3 times when you've paused, you completely go blank. You become so nervous, you feel that you're not being able to express yourself well. So this problem can be solved. In this video, we are talking about how not to translate, or at least to reduce the translation time considerably well, so that the next time when you speak, the words should flow out of your mind. For that, the very first thing that you need to do is you have to start thinking in English, and there are a few dedicated videos also which I might just link somewhere over here. You can go watch it, where I have shared with you how to think in English, but here I'm not going to get into the details. The details have already been shared. So to think in English, you have to think in the same language which you're speaking in, but that is not possible because our mother tongue is not English. So how to think in English? What we are going to do, we are going to start with a 15 minutes practice. Every day without fail, start dedicating 15 minutes to speaking spontaneously. I'm sitting here right now. Whatever I see around, I'm going to speak about everything, and for 15 minutes I am going to do that straight away. So for you also, wherever you are sitting, what can you see around? Look around. Do you see a water bottle? Do you see a wall clock? Do you see a photograph? Do you see a window, a door? If you are in the kitchen, what do you see? A microwave oven, a stove, utensils, glasses, your RO. What do you see? Start speaking about it. I see a calendar in front of me, which is showing that this is a November month. There are 30 days in November month, and this is a very colorful calendar. There are some motivational quotation written on this calendar. I can see pink, green, blue, yellow color in it. And there are some highlighted days. Sundays are all in red, rest of the days are in blue. This is how I'm going to speak on and on about it. I can see a flower pot in front of me which has sunflowers. I always feel amazed whenever I look at sunflowers. This one is an artificial one, but the real sunflowers always move towards sun. So they start facing sun. This is such an amazing creation of God. I am very fond of sunflowers. So what do you see around? Start speaking about it, and don't stop for 15 minutes. Keep speaking whatever is coming to your mind, and this is something which you're going to do alone. Don't practice it when you're with people. Practice it alone and keep speaking for 15 minutes. Don't give yourself time to think. What you have to do, you have to just speak about that thing. If you will start doing it, you will notice that you will not even think about these things, because everything around you you're right now familiar with. It will be easy for you to say that. Use simple words, simple sentences, but speak. Just speak. Now this is all about training our mind. This whole thinking in English, this whole stopping translation is all about training our mind. It's not about understanding English. It's not about learning English. It's about training your mind to not think before speaking. It has to speak. The thoughts should not have any language. The speech has to be there in English. That's it. So we are working on training our mind. It's all about training. So this first exercise you're going to do for 15 minutes every day. Do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and notice the difference. Words will start sitting on your mouth, and it'll be easy for you to express anything. The second thing that you have to do is you have to create your own situations and scenarios in your head and start a conversation with your own self. Like, create a scenario where you are being scolded by your boss because you were getting late for office for the entire week. Now, this scenario needs you to give your explanation. So start speaking about it. Start this conversation on your own. Start giving explanations like, boss, it's not my fault. I have to drop my kid to the school, and while coming back there is a road which is under construction, so there is a lot of traffic jam over there, and apart from that this parking area is always full of cars, so it takes me another few minutes to just park my car, take the lift. I'll be more careful from the next time. Please forgive me for this 1 week, but from the next time I'll plan the things accordingly, and by that time I'm hoping that the road will get reconstructed. All of that. Create more scenarios. You're going to PTM, your child's teacher speaks in English, so what are you going to say? Maybe you can create a situation that you've got a complaint, or the teacher is telling you about the child's performance which is not up to the mark. So what are you going to say? That I am very busy with my office. I've not been able to pay attention to my child's studies in past few days, so I want your support. Can you provide him or her with some extra classes? I think maths is one subject where he or she needs the most attention, but she's very good with English, so I believe that she can cover up her marks in the language. Like this, create your own scenarios and start conversation with yourself. You're too dependent on conversation partners that you're even spending money on that. There is no need for it. You don't need a conversation partner. You can start the conversation in your head, and if you are well prepared for something, you can obviously speak in a flow when the situation really happens. Otherwise, when you immediately start speaking in public, then you get nervous, then your mind just goes blank, because there are pauses. Translation create a lot of pauses in your speech. So when you start speaking and there are pauses, immediately you go blank and you completely get nervous, you don't speak. So for that, you have to prepare yourself. Create every scenario that you can imagine of and start a conversation in your head. When in reality you'll have to speak, when in reality the same situation will happen, you will be prepared, you'll be well equipped with enough words and sentences. So start taking this thing very seriously. Now the third exercise is that you have to start speaking your thoughts out loud. As humans, we are always full of thoughts. There are numerous thoughts running in our head. Whenever, suppose I'm traveling in a metro, I am looking at people, there are always thoughts going on. You look at a couple, you feel whether they've had a fight in the morning, or this old man, he travels every day, is he still working, or maybe he's retired but he has joined a private firm or something. Whenever you are in the middle of an activity, there are thoughts. You have to give those thoughts a voice. When you are taking a shower, I'm sure you have numerous thoughts. 10-15 minutes you're taking a shower. Look at the shampoo bottle. I'm running out of shampoo. This time I'm going to buy a bigger one. Let me order right now, only after finishing my bath. I'll order myself a shampoo. Oh, this soap is making my skin really dry. I think I should substitute soaps with body washes. They keep my skin hydrated. Oh, winter is here. I should keep some body lotions in my bathroom. The water is not warm enough today. Tomorrow I'll switch on the geyser 15 minutes before I get into the bathroom. Every time you are in a situation, give your thoughts a voice. Speak them aloud. We are all thinking. Now you have to stop thinking in a language. Let the thoughts be thoughts, but the speech be in English. When you're cooking, start speaking in English. Let me add some oil, then some cumin seeds. I'll fry the onions, make them turn at least golden brown. Then I'll add a lot of veggies. Let me make this this dish rich. I will add cauliflower, potatoes, carrots, and when I'll add tomatoes, I'll sprinkle some salt. Then I'll cover it with a lid, and after 15 minutes, I'm ready. The food is ready. I'll serve it and garnish it with some coriander leaves. Like that. Give your thoughts a speech. This is going to be a wonderful activity, and everything you have to do every day. All the three things which I've said: 15 minutes for thinking in English, then creating scenarios, and then speaking your thoughts loud. You have to do it. Okay, now the fourth thing is, and listen to this one very carefully, accept that the expression which you will have in your mother tongue and the expression which is there in English is always going to be different. These two expressions cannot be the same. Of course, you can express yourself well in your mother tongue, but when it comes to English, there is going to be a difference. You are stuck because you want to reach a level where the people are speaking good English, they're speaking fluently. Don't compare yourself with those people. Maybe they are native speakers. They had their mother tongue is also English, so they had no translation, no thinking process going on in their head. When we are learning English as a second language, of course there is going to be translation. So it is obvious that we will express ourselves in a better way in our mother tongue, but in English you will fall short of words. That's natural. It happens with everyone. Stop judging yourself. Stop comparing yourself to people. Everybody has come from a different background. Everybody has had a different situation. And maybe some people have really put in a lot of efforts to speak in such a way that you cannot make out a difference between a native speaker and a person who's speaking English as a second language. Are you putting in those efforts? So don't compare and judge unnecessarily. Look at them, get inspired, and start speaking, but don't stop practicing. What happens is, when you don't accept the fact that English is different from your mother tongue, and yes, your expression will be better in your mother tongue, then you quit in between. Don't quit. Keep practicing. Keep working. Surround yourself with an atmosphere. For me, it has always been reading. I have been reading since childhood, and all my books have been in English. I've been reading books forever. I cannot even count the number of books, novels I have read, self-help books, everything. So for me, I can express myself better in English than in Hindi, because my mind always has a lot of English words. This is what I'm reading, so my thoughts are all in English. Have you done that for yourself is a question that you need to ask. Till then, just accept and keep working on yourself. So it would not be very hard. The fifth thing is that it is time now that you come out of your comfort zone. You want to stay in your comfort zone, and at the same time you want to improve your English. This is not going to happen. This is going to be very hard. So basically, you have to have a growth mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, then you'll be stuck in your situation. No, I read only Hindi novels. How should I read in English? I'm not asking you to substitute your Hindi novels into English. There is a different love in reading, and I understand that love. The love with your language. Continue with your Hindi or whichever novels you're reading. Also include some English books. If not novels, go for some magazines or newspaper. Do that reading. Be inclusive. Watch English movies also. Don't stop watching your Bollywood masala nice movies. Watch them. Listen to your Hindi songs, but at the same time, sometimes out of compulsion, play any English song as well. So this is something which a person with growth mindset can do easily. Have a growth mindset. Be ready to learn. Moving from rigidity to flexibility will help you make your speech flexible too. It will be easy for your tongue to make more words flow out of it. That is what you have to do. So don't have a fixed mindset, have a growth mindset, and be ready to come out of your comfort zone and make the necessary appropriate changes that are required. Now, last but not the least, the sixth point, and this point is more of an exercise for you. Though all of them are practices only, but this one is an exercise for you. We all read stories, and if you don't read it now, you must have heard a lot of stories, grandma stories that your parents have told you, the teachers must have told you. Now what you have to do is, the same story, you have to give it a different ending. The most common story that I can think of right now is a thirsty crow, or this tortoise and hare, rabbit and tortoise story. So read that story again and give it a different ending from your side. It is going to be a fun activity. So make it longer and give it a twist. something like this you can do, if not every day, alternatively, or maybe weekly. But I would say yes, you can do it every day. If not stories, then the serials that you watch, give it a different ending and start speaking about it. This time the tortoise has not won, the rabbit has won, because tortoise is so slow. Now the next time tortoise decided to wear skates, because the snail, the tortoise, they cannot walk fast, they have a shell on their back. This time he's wearing skates, and the rabbit is not being able to follow him because he's literally flying in the air. Anything funny, anything interesting with thirsty crow, while he was putting the pebbles inside the jug, but the jug was so deep that the water was not coming on the top, and suddenly a fox came and hit the jug and it fell down. This time the crow could drink the water, but it was having a lot of soil mixed in it. He did not enjoy. Now he's moving to his next destination where he'll find water. Anything, like, I just want you to speak spontaneously so that your mind doesn't get a lot of time to think. You have to leave the thinking part. I'm not saying think in English. Train your tongue to speak in English. It's all about training your tongue and training your mind. This time we have to reduce. While the processing is happening here and the outcome is here, we have to reduce that time. And it can happen easily. Many people have done that. English is not my first language. My mother tongue is Hindi. So I can speak in it. So why can't you? If I am being able to speak spontaneously in a flow, not a problem. And I can tell you that I'm not thinking about it in any way. I'm just focused on speaking. So surround yourself with enough English that whenever it comes to speaking it in particular situation, you should not fall short of words, sentences, vocabulary, expression. This is what you have to do. So follow these practices. Again, I'll repeat. Give yourself 15 minutes to think about everything that you see around. Create scenarios and situations in your head and start conversations with yourself based on those scenarios and situations. Then you have to speak your thoughts out. If it is about anything, like while you're driving, you can say what you're doing, the steering wheel, the accelerator, anything. You have so many thoughts going on in your head. You're traveling in a metro, you are cooking something, you're washing the laundry, putting the clothes for drying, anything. Speak about it. This is what you have to do, and then start giving stories, serials, episodes a different ending. When you do these exercises, you will naturally become fluent. Now, next time when you ask me how to be fluent, please watch this video and start following the tips. What is the point if I share so many things? There are so many videos and still I get comments like, how to speak in English, ma'am, tell me. Now, how else can I tell you how to speak in English? This is how I simplify it in so many ways. I always come up with new practices. I always come up with new ideas. Still, when you ask, I don't know what should I say. I cannot tell you in one comment. Please go through the videos, go through the playlists. You will find your answers because all your queries have already been answered. Already there are videos, numerous videos, hundreds of videos on each topic that you keep asking me questions about. So this was all for this video. I hope this practice will help you end your translation and start speaking in a flow, spontaneously, fluently. Take care of yourself. Keep practicing your English. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye-bye.